Welcome once again. It was a delicate balancing act for the Treasury Cabinet Secretary as he tabled Kenya Kwanza's maiden 3.68 trillion shilling spending plan. Professor Njuguna Ndung'u traded a fragile give and take as he kept his eye on the ambitious revenue projection of 2.8 trillion shillings for the next financial year. Some of the biggest winners are manufacturers of baby diapers who have been granted extension of duty-free importation of inputs. Some of the biggest losers are businesses with an annual turnover exceeding 25 million shillings who will now be graduated to a higher tax rate. Judith Cherono now brings us the breakdown of the winners and losers.
The first budget of the Kenya Kwanza administration
giving with one hand while taking away with another. That is the daunting task that Professor Njuguna Ndung'u executed this afternoon as he tabled the Kenya Kwanza government's maiden budget, which seeks to mobilize a staggering 2.7 trillion shillings amidst a depressed economic environment. Amongst the biggest winners in the 2023-2024 budget are manufacturers of baby diapers who have been granted an extension of duty-free importation of inputs for another 12 months with a view to keeping the price of the products low. Also on the gainers list are those importing wheat and rice into the country. The Treasury has made public the agreement by the East African Community member states to have rice imported at the concessionary 10% rate under duty remission scheme, while rice will be imported at the rate of 35%. Importers of iron and steel have also been granted a breather, with the Treasury announcing importation at the concessionary rate of 35% under the duty remission scheme has been extended for yet another 12 months. Persons dealing in the automotive industry are also on the winners list of the Kenya Kwanza government's debut budget speech. With importation of spares under duty remission scheme extended, the East African Community awaits generation of regionally harmonized regulations. But it wasn't all about winners. First off, if you are in a business whose annual turnover lies between 25 million and 50 million shillings, you will now be required to comply with corporate income tax at a rate of 30%, unlike the present case where you remit turnover tax at a rate of 1%. This follows proposals for amendments to the Income Tax Act with respect to turnover tax. On the losers list are those who import fish into the country, with the Treasury now slapping excise tax at a rate of 100,000 shillings per metric ton, or 10% of value, whichever is higher. Also on the losers list are those importing powdered juice into the country, who will now be parting with excise tax at a rate of 75 shillings for each kilogram imported into the country. Players in the betting and gaming sector have also been dealt a blow, with the Treasury indicating they will be required to continue remitting their tax collections on a real-time basis, even as other sectors are granted a 5-day window period. If you are a dealer who trades in the supply of imported sugar, you are also on the list of those targeted by the Kenya Kwanza government for higher tax revenue. The Treasury is proposing that imported sugar be slapped with 5% excise, except in instances where the sugar is imported for pharmaceutical purposes. Imported cement will also be slapped with 10% excise tax, or $1.50 per kilogram, whichever is higher. Judith Cherono, NTV.